Howdy folks, K1GMM Steve here in Vermont. I'm going to run through a new antenna I just put up. I've been looking for an antenna to work the upper bands like 1715, 1210, 6, and I have some surprising things to show you. I've gone back to a delta. I know, enough of the deltas, right? But God, I'm like the Delta boy. I don't know what it is. I can't get anything else to work to my satisfaction. So I'm going to show you some things. What I got going here, this is an option. This antenna is approximately 15 feet across. It looks bigger than it is, but it's not. You can hang this from a tree or whatever. This is built on Shakespeare wonder poles. These are 20-foot wonder poles. The top two sections I can't find. So I have like... I don't know what these extensions are, probably 2.5 feet long. They're like 1.5 inch PVC, and I drop the wonder poles into it, and I have a screw which goes through to set to prevent the poles from going all the way down to the bottom here. So this is built with 14 gauge wire, 46.6 feet, full wave loop, and it's right on the bottom end, borderline random wire, bottom end of 15 meters. Now, what I'm going to show you, it does work on 17, however, it is down compared to the 80 meter delta loop that I run. The 80 meter delta is a direct match, and that's matched. It uses a quarter wave times 0.85 VF of RG11 to match the antenna on the bottom end of 80 meters down around 3600, which is where I spend a lot of time, down in 3600, 3700 range. So that antenna, believe it or not, works gangbusters on 17 meters. So what I have here, this is 46.6 feet, 14 gauge wire, just zip tied to the spreaders to kind of hold them in place. You can see the wire pulling off the spreader right here, just a little tiny bit. Not a big deal. At the feed point, I tried different configurations. I tried 450 ohm to a 4-to-1. I tried, good Lord, a match. I directly matched it to 15 meters just for giggles. I had some extra 75 ohm RG quad shield. What is that? RG6U quad shield. And didn't like that. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to do the old tried and true. So what I have right here is an air wound. That's an air wound on a 3/4 inch, and I'll post the link for this video, show you how to do it. I use a lot of these, and they work really, really well to multi-band these loops. Use them all the time for different. I have a friend that uses one on an OCF, and it works great for him. Very easy to build. This will probably take a kilowatt. This is built on 10 gauge wire, very thick wire. And that's right at the feed point. And then the 50 ohm coax comes into that air wound 4-to-1. All right. So 50 ohm coax and then to the shack. So that's what that looks like. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to show you the VNA plots. And I'm going to show you the difference between the VNA data and what the radio actually sees. Radios are very forgiving, so I'm going to do a sweep on the 7300 as well across multiple bands. I think what you're going to see is quite surprising. So this is 17 meters. Let's go to 17. SWR, not that good. Return loss, not that good. Okay. So you can take a look at that. I think the minimum SWR is about 2.8 to 1. So it's virtually flat across 17 meters. Now this is way short for 17, but it will work on 17. It loads really good. But as you'll see, I don't know if there's any signals on 17, but as you'll see, it is down quite a bit compared to the 80 meter loop. All right, so let's go to 15 meters. 15 meters is very good, which is what I wanted. That's the starting point. So that's around, I think minimum SWR across 15 meter band is 1.373 to 1. Return loss, best return loss is minus 16 dB, which is very, very good. That's okay. I can cope with that. And I did make a contact into South America easily. First call on 15 meters on about 80 watts with this a couple nights ago. All right, let's go to 12 meters. This is interesting. So 12 meters, I hear all kinds of things on 12 meters. So it's about 2 to 1 on 12. Easily reel this in with a tuner, no problem. Return loss is, it's okay. Let's go to 10 meters. 10 meters, minimum SWR is a 2.2. Return loss is minus 8. At best, 28.4 is right here. It loads up right on 10 meters. And as you can see, it's pretty broadbanded. That's the one thing I noticed, is that the bandwidth is very good. Even though, now keep in mind, this is a multi-band antenna. This is not tuned to resonance. I didn't go for resonance on any band. I was just looking to get something usable on all of these bands. All right, that's 10 meters. Let's go to 6 meters. Here is 6 meters. So with a tuner, with an auto tuner in the radio, 6 meters is very usable, under 3 to 1. 50.125 is probably about right here. Right in, it's close to the 1 mark. It's as close to the 1 mark as you can get. Not much difference there. So not very impressive on return loss, but minus 8 at best, 2.2 to 1 minimum SWR up in the top end, the upper third of 6 meters. Here is the interesting one. Check this out. 2 meters. Is this freaking amazing or what? Minimum SWR 1.053 to 1 at 144.68. So for a 2 meter sideband, you could actually use this on 2 meter sideband. Return loss at this point is probably around minus 23 dB. Best return loss is minus 31. And that is, what is that, 144? Probably the 144.6, somewhere in there. Yeah, 144.68. So you can use this for 2 meter sideband work, for crying out loud. That is really amazing. That will snort some fire on 2 meters. You gotta love that little bonus. All right, so what we're gonna do now, let me stand by just for a moment. And I'm gonna get things switched over here. Hold on. So what we're going to do here, we are going to do a sweep on the 7300. We're going to sweep through the bands, all the bands except for 2 meters. We're just going to see, I'll show you what the radio wants to see, okay, is seeing as far as impedance. Let's just do a quick sweep here. Keep in mind the VNAs are hyper accurate compared to what your rig sees. So this is why I wanted to show you. So I'll go ahead and hit start. This is 17 meters. We'll start there and go up from there. All right, so give it some bumps. We can watch the SWR. It's about a 2.1, 2.2 to 1. 2 to 1. Pretty much 2 to 1 across, which isn't bad. So it is usable, but as I will show you, I don't know if there'll be any signals on 17, but it is down compared to the 80 meter loop, which hears incredibly well. Now, I don't know if the 80 meter loop will transmit that well on 17. So it must be a harmonic thing. Those of you that are a lot smarter than I am can figure that one out. All right, 15 meters. We're going to sweep it. Flat. What's going on here? Didn't go. There we go. Forgot to turn it on. I think it starts to rise at the top end. Nope. So that sucker is flat across 15 meters. Score on that. Let's go to 12 meters. Do a quick sweep here. It's a little high where I wanted to start, but we'll just bump it and see what happens. Okay, so that's flat on 12. Let's go to 10 meters. Okay, so 28.4. She's probably about a 1.75, 1.8 to 1. And then she heads back down from there very gradually up to 28.7. So that's easily tunable. Now, keep in mind the difference. I've played with this a lot. The difference between like a 3 to 1 and a flat 1 to 1, I can't see any difference on receive most of the time. So I kind of look for, 2 to 1 without a tuner is great. If I'm 2 to 1 or less, and you'll notice that a lot of most commercial antennas say that they'll give a VSWR of 2 to 1 or less right out of the box. So that's why. Anyways, I'll get the tune button out of there. Shoot. Don't want the tuner engaged. That's cheating. So we'll just sweep. We'll sweep to 50.376, 378, somewhere in there, which is the FT8 area. So we'll go right through the bottom end of 6 and then up to about 50.38, somewhere in there. So this will cover the sideband, the phone portion on sideband, 50.125, going up to 50.3, 50.4. Go bump it. So we're under 3 to 1. So pretty consistent. So with a tuner, so let me just hit this. Out of there. So let me just hit the tuner, see if it tunes up. Didn't take much. That was it. Just a quick click. Actually, let me clear. And start a fresh tune cycle. Does it grab the previous tune? That's how fast it tuned up. Literally from start. In other words, I had no preset in there. So we'll just bump it quick, the CW tone, and see if the radio grabbed it. There it is. Unreadable. So 6 meters, very cool. All right, moving on from there. I have to go light up the, not sure if the Apache is running. So start this. Apache is running. So what we're going to do, and we're 7,300. And The reason why I like the Apache is because I've got the peak. See these pink peak blobs right here? Gives me the dBm. And so when I switch antennas, I can see. Usually, most of the time I use the S meter, but sometimes this is interesting to do. Let's go back up to 17. We'll start there. Oh, there are signals on 17. So it looks like we got some FT8 is probably the easiest thing to do. I'm not sure where FT8 is. Check. Yep. Let me see if I can get the audio going on the rig. Should be some audio there. I'm going to get that so I don't kill anybody. Okay. Okay, so this is on the let me get the NR2 off. So this is early in the morning. Current time is, what are we at? 12:53 UTC. So the band, I'm sure, is not open yet, but there is activity in there. So we got 109.4 on FT8 and roughly an S7, S8. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go over to, now keep in mind this is not, I can tune it. So let me go ahead and tune it just for fiddles. That'll do. Okay. So let me check the antenna quick. Okay, that is the 80-meter loop right there. That's the 80-meter loop. So we got 106, 105, about 105.8 on the peak. We're going to go back to the 15-meter delta and wait for this next cycle. Okay, so it's back to the loop. That's the 80-meter delta. Meter delta. Okay, that's the 15-meter. Boy, quite a bit down. Now it could have to do with direction. Okay, that's 15-meter going to 80. That's 80. See what I mean? The 80 is definitely a little stronger. It's 15 meters. I don't know where those stations are, where they're coming from. Now keep in mind, these deltas do have a sharp null on the sides of them. The aperture of this antenna is open to the northeast and southwest. Going back to the 80 meter. That's 80 meter. Yep. So, excuse me. So we pick up a little bit more. So on 17 meters, yeah. The 80 meter beats it. Is it usable on 17? Sure. Sure. But it is down. So let's look. I'm going to look one more time at the S units. I was looking at this right here. Okay, 80 meter going to 15. Okay, S6, S7. So that's about 3. Okay, that's about a 55 going to 80 meter delta. 56 and change. So it's probably about 3, 4, 5 dB better. The 80 meter one. Okay, just wanted to show you guys that. Let's go to 15. Go back to the 15 meter antenna. Okay, so this is the 15 meter antenna. Sorry about that. Just make sure she is. Okay, we'll just have a look around in here. Okay, so this is back on FT8. So we got about +5. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to an NFED. Now the NFED is surprisingly good. So I'm going to switch to the NFED. So right now we're at +10. That is the NFED on 15. So 5.4 on the NFED. That's a 15 meter delta. I always thought the NFED was pretty good. It's actually more resonant than the 15 meter multiband delta is. Going back to the NFED. That's the NFED. Going back to the delta. So the difference right here, you look at this. Okay, we got 105 on that strongest signal, 104. And we've got about 130, 129 at best with very sharp QSB. So that's interesting. All right, let's go to 12. Actually gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go back to the NFED. I'm not sure how the NFED does on 12. I don't think I ever checked it, but we'll just look. So we got 119.4. Oh, stopped. The NFED's pretty poor on 12, I can tell. 135.9. 144. Wow. $120. NFED. 137. Okay. All right, let's give 10 a poke. I have no idea. I don't think there's any signals on 10. See if I see anything moving. I think 10's pretty much closed off early. Alrighty. Alrighty, so that is pretty much it. I was still on the NFED, so let me just take it. I see nothing. nothing. So that looks to me like she's a winner. I'm gonna just give it a run. I figured I'd show you guys this and let you make up your own minds. As we come into fall, I wanted something for 50, especially for 15 meters for contests. 15 and 10. 17, 12, 17, I'll use the 80 meter loop. 12 meters, that's just a bonus. I needed something for 15 and 10 that worked reasonably well. And I know 15, I know it's working on 15. 10 meters, I'm not sure. It may be just too much of a weak performer, but if you wanted just a single antenna to cover 17 through 2 meters, well, there you go, folks. that is quite the antenna, I thought. Of course, proof is in the pudding. But like I said, it does work on 15, and I know it will work on 17. It's just going to be probably 3 to 6 dB down, maybe half an S unit, somewhere between half an S unit and an S unit down, compared to like probably a resonant dipole, which isn't very good, really, if you think about it. So 17, that's a bonus. You know, if the band's really open, you shouldn't have a problem making contacts on it. 7.3. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you later. A1GMM.